Hey everyone, this is Dave Bush, and what I want to do here on this video is I want to walk through the changes that we are making to Event Connect, and we are launching Phase 2 on Wednesday, June 14th. This video, it's going to be a little bit freeform. It's not polished in the sense that we're going to have all of the ums and the misclicks edited out, but I still think it's important for you guys to get a visual representation in advance of the launch. So I want to walk through a lot of the changes that we're making for you guys come June 14th. One thing to note before we get started is that what you're seeing here is the back-end development site of Vector Connect. So I am logged in under and sides, but the information here is what I like to call dummy information. It's not updated, it is not accurate, it is just filled with a bunch of just numbers and people and events that allows us to go ahead and do some testing. So while it looks like there's a whole bunch of accurate information here, don't take anything to heart here. We're not showing anything that's sensitive information, nor are we showing you anything that is truly accurate information. We have an entire dummy site that is exclusively on our network that allows us to go ahead and get in and do some testing on programs and enhancements, and that's what I'm working off of right here. The first thing I'd like to mention that you'll see on June 14th is that our entire events section on Vector Connect is now going to be housed in its own area on the left-hand side navigation. Okay, instead of going into Sales Tools and finding the Cutco Events section, you're going to see a brand new section titled Events. And when you click on this, not only is this going to be the area where you will sign up for your regional or national conferences, it will also house everything that is related to our event program. So everything will be moved up from Sales Tools into the event section on June 14th. The first thing I want to do is I want to talk about a complete redesign about your My Event page. Now obviously we have the dashboard, and a lot of people ask what is the difference between the dashboard and the My Events. My Events is never going away. My Events is every single event that is related to you and the detail and the information that you can work with, filter by, search with. The dashboard provides a more current alert update and at a glance status, so you can get in there every single day, which I know that you are, right? Get in there every single day and look to see what's happening, what's occurring, what's needed at a quick glance. Those two still work in conjunction with each other. If you're just using the dashboard, or if you're just using My Events, you're not using the system correctly. So I want to make sure that we get that out there as well, because sometimes we get some questions with that about what's the difference between the two. But I'm going to start here with some of the changes to the My Event page. And when you look at the My Event page, the very first thing that you're going to see is that we've went ahead and we've done a complete facelift, I guess you could say, of the page. We have now gone ahead and we've transferred a lot of the alert and data information that you were using from this page to an icon graph. Okay, so from left to right, you'll now see icon headers and icons that are through here that will alert you about the events and what needs to be done, and you can manage directly from icons. Now we did that because I think it's visually easy to see and understand, but it also allows us to navigate a lot easier and quickly. If I'm a coordinator or I'm an assistant working on the team, I'm going to be able to utilize the My Event page much quicker, and it will respond faster as well. From left to right, the icons that you'll see here, some of them you're familiar with, some of them are brand new. We've got the envelope, which allows you to send an email directly to us about the event. We've got the view comments bubble, which allows you to submit comments to us, allow you to see comments about the event that we're working on as well. It's an exchange of information back and forth between your event team and yourself. We've got the paperclip icon, which allows you to view and upload files. We'll upload contracts. We can upload the W-9, we can upload information back and forth, and you can do the same as well, and that way it's always there for you. So a year from now, if you needed to go back in and look at the paperwork, it's right there for you under this paperclip tied to this event. You're familiar with the $sign, which allows you to see all of the tabbed orders for the event. So any order that was submitted for the Home and Garden Expo, once it has been processed, it will show directly here. We've got the recap folder. The recap folder will go ahead and it will put you in a place where you can see all of the recaps that you've submitted all in one spot. So instead of having to navigate through a couple of different areas, to be able to pull up this information, when you submit your event charge or your overage recap, click this folder and you'll be able to see all of that information. Now these next two are brand new, and these are alert icons, and you'll see an exclamation point and you'll see a megaphone, and the exclamation point tells you when you see this that for this particular event you have not submitted your recap yet, and you'll click on that icon, as we'll do here in a couple minutes, and it'll take you directly to the recap entry page. When you submit your recap, the icon will change from the exclamation point to a thumbs up. When you see the thumbs up, you know that we have your recap and everything is good to go. The next one is the result entry page, and we'll talk about why we needed to split those up temporarily in just a couple minutes here. But when you have the bullhorn or the megaphone, whatever you want to call it, you see that icon tied to your event, it means that we don't have your results entered in for that, and we need to get those results in. The plus sign you're familiar with, that is to rebook the event. And a brand new one that we'll talk about a little bit more in depth later in a couple minutes here is the promoter confirmation icon. When you see this check mark, what that means is that the information that we submitted to book the event has been confirmed by the promoter as received. Again, I'm going to spend a couple minutes on that in just a little bit, but when you see that green check mark, you'll know that the promoter has all of the information and returned back to us that they have it as well. Scrolling over to the right, some of the other things that we did is we have put all of the event recap, overage recap columns as well as a breakdown of the results submitted as well for the events. So when you look at the cost, if you submitted a recap, then the balance would go down. So right now the cost is $525. The event recap has not been submitted yet to bring that down to zero, so it shows a balance of $525. If an overage recap was submitted, you'll be able to see the amount of the overage recap that was put together and processed. If there was promotional product, primarily for malls, and if there was any charges for promo product, you'll see that as well. CPO, the total CPO that's been reported, the breakdown in orders, free looks, service calls, all of that is here for you as well. The reason we did this is because we wanted to give you all of the most relevant event information on one particular line. So at any point, if you wanted to look at the Mother News Earth Fair of what took place either within the current year or in past years, when you look at that from left to right, you're going to be able to see the events, the results, the recaps, how the orders broke down, who was charged in terms of your shifts, overage costs, all of that, all on one line form. So we were able to kind of add some more information directly into your My Events. And that's, again, why we talk about the My Event page versus the dashboard page. My Events is going to give you all of the detail about your particular event. If you ever have questions about what the icons mean, we also have an icon key, and that just goes ahead and it shows you exactly what needs to be done or why you're seeing a particular icon alert. All right, so what I want to do is I want to show you a particular event, that needs recaps and results submitted. So for this Fredericksburg Crawfish Festival, you're going to see, as we talked about, the icon exclamation point, meaning that for this event, we do not have the recap submitted in yet. So I'm going to go ahead and click this, and it's going to take me directly to the page, pre-filled, for the Frederick Crawfish Festival. The entire recap submission page has been redone for you, and we have done this so there are going to be far less clicks, easier entry than ever before to be able to get this information into us without a lot of time being spent on this. When you click to enter the recap submission, you'll notice that the page has been redesigned. You're going to see if there's any promotional product charge on a malls that need to be assigned, the event cost, what has been charged, and what is the difference. As we enter in the charges, this number will go down to zero, so we're able to submit. All of the event information is here. You'll just scroll down to click Event Charge Recap. The different recap types that are available for an event will drop down here. If it is a mall, then you'll see the promo charge recap as accessible. If it is an event charge recap or overage recap, you just select the type of recap that you want to submit your charges for. You then drop down who we're going to charge for the event. It's all of your team members that you have added to your dashboard from your team management will show up here. You're not having to enter in every single rep. It's only going to show those reps that are assigned to your team. we now have broken it down with the starting of the tab weeks, and you'll see in here what date you want the charges to start. Okay. Again, we're still working within the same time frame of the 45 days from the end date of the event, and the sooner that you go ahead and start your charges from the end date of the event, the more tab weeks or more charge weeks that you have to be able to break it down. The longer that you wait, the less options that are there. So what tab week you want it to start, what is the amount per rep that needs to be done, how many charges you want to break it down to, and it breaks it down automatically. That'll be $62.50 a week for 4 weeks to equal the $250. And you can see that the balance now is 0. If I were to submit, then it's just one representative being charged over 4 weeks at $62.50 a week to go ahead and pay back the company to the event for the $250. But if that's incorrect and we need to add a different rep, and let's just make this 100, you can see that it automatically changes here from the $62.50 to now $25 a week. And we'll charge Dante starting on the 29th. And we have $150 left that needs to be charged to Dante. And because we're starting on the 29th, we have less weeks to go ahead and choose from. But if we choose the maximum, then it's $50 a week. And now that is set to 0. We can go ahead and submit. Obviously, in the development site, it is taking just a little bit slower than normal. It obviously doesn't take that progress bar to go all the way through, but everything has been submitted and we're all set here. So now if I go back and I look at this event, you'll see that that exclamation point has now turned to a thumbs up. If you needed to submit an overage recap, you can go back in and do so. You'll notice that it's already submitted to charge for $250. You cannot go back in and resubmit another event charge. All that's left to choose from is the overage recap, and you would just do the exact same thing as we just did there to break it up for your overage recaps as you guys are used to. The next thing is, as it relates to this, is I want to show you one last feature. Is right here is the bonus dates. A lot of people like to be charged on the bonus dates. Hey, save my charges, or just do one charge directly on the bonus dates, but you're not really sure when that date is to hit. When you click this page right here, it's going to open up a PDF that will show you the calendar, the vector calendar of when the bonus dates will occur. So you can go ahead and assign your charge to the bonus date if the time frame allows you to, based upon when you're submitting your charges back. So that's a new little feature as well that we put in there for you, because we get a lot of people asking about that. Confirmations will still stay the same, meaning that if you're a coordinator or an assistant, you're going to get a confirmation of the recap as you do currently with everybody's charges. In the example that we just provided, Brent would only get an email confirmation with his particular charge breakdown. So none of that has changed. We've kept the confirmations the same. But the layout is a lot easier. It's a lot quicker. Instead of having to do clicks each particular week, each particular calendar day that you want to go ahead and assign, we're simply making a particular line item. You tell us the total amount, you choose the number of weeks, when you want it to start, and it'll take it from there for you. We estimate somewhere between 23 and 27 less clicks, depending on the amount of people that you are entering in on a recap. Just with a traditional 1 to 3 day event with 2 to 3 team members, you're going to find yourself clicking about 20 to 27 times, a little bit less. So we're really excited about that. Going to make you all a little bit more efficient and happy when you're doing your administrative work. Back on the main page, we talked about the bullhorn or megaphone, whatever you want to call it. This is a page that will take you to the result entry. Now, you're familiar currently where you're entering your results and your recaps on the same page. From June 14th until the end of the year, what's going to take place is that we need to have a separate page for your result entry, okay? The reason being is that as we're transitioning from reported into tabbed information, we did this right now in preparation for the cutover in 2018 when we're only going to be using tabbed orders as the barometer of the reporting stats for our program. So we've already set up how recaps were going to work starting June June 14th well into the future, but to be able to do so, instead of all of the result and recap information coming to us at once, we only want the recap information to come in one way, and the result information is going to come in reportedly separately, just from now until the end of the year. And we'll talk about this a lot more, especially at the net, and as we get closer to the end of 2017 of how result entry is going to work. But from now until the end of the year, you're going to need you to report your results to us by clicking on that bullhorn, clicking on that megaphone, whatever we want to call it, and then just putting in the information as per usual. So let's just say that this event did $1,000 and 5 orders, 1 free look, 28 service calls, 3 leads, and I click submit. Get the information that's been submitted, and when I navigate back, I now see another thumbs up. Instead of having an alert that this results need to be reported, we now can go ahead and see that it has been taken care of. So when you guys see those double thumbs up, you know that you did the right thing, that we're all good to go there. I want to show you a page as well that we're really excited about providing. And this is what we call the My Balances or Event Balances page. This page will be showing as well into your event section, where what this will do is this will show you all of the event charges that you've accumulated. Let's see if we can get some examples here. This will show you, there's nothing to display unfortunately right here because of the fact that we're still in development, but on this page what this would do is it would show you all of your charges that took place last week, what's being charged this week, and your upcoming week charges as well. So when you click in here to take a look at this, at a glance you're going to see all of your event related charges from last week, this current week that's set to be charged, and what's upcoming that you can go ahead and just financially plan for and take a look at or be aware of. Up here at the top, which is pretty great, if we wanted to, we can go ahead and we can set some dates here. Let's see if this will work. Probably won't because we're in development, but we can go ahead and get a range of data. Okay, it's not working, but that's fine. But we can go ahead and get a range of data as well of past charges that have been done. The reason we did this is because this is going to show you exactly an entire year's worth of charges. So when you're doing your taxes, you can go ahead and just set the date range that you want to from the beginning to the end of the year, or by campaign, or whatever you want to do, and then click export, and all of that will be printed out on an Excel sheet for you that you can go ahead and turn in when you're doing your taxes or doing your finances for profit and loss especially. So that's a page that we'll be launching as well on June 14th that we'll talk a little bit more about once it actually goes live. The last thing I want to talk about here is I want to talk about your dashboard. A couple great things that are taking place here is that the first thing we want to talk about is the promoter confirmation. And when you look at the dashboard, you'll see that this is the alert section. Okay, so here's events that are booked. Here's events that are booked that are starting for next week. Here's prospective events that are starting within the next 45 days that we want to know about. And here are events that we need results or recaps in as well. So when you see this, you know what you need to do here. But especially as it relates to the booked and the booked next week, there is a column that shows for promoter confirmation. So here's a lot of things that happen, and hopefully it doesn't happen to you guys, but over the past couple of years we have seen a rise where we go ahead and we book the event, and we book the event weeks, months, sometimes even years ahead of time, and we ask the promoter to confirm with us that they've received the contract, that they've received the payment, and many times they respond back to us that they do, many times that they don't. And they will go ahead and we still are able to set up, and they never respond back to us that they got the information without issue. But there are times that Cutco event team has done what they needed to do, sent out the information, asked for a response, and we didn't hear anything about it, and then you or your team member goes to go start setting up, and they report to you that they don't have the paperwork, they don't have the contract, and then it's kind of a frantic call on a Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, just saying like, hey, can you pull the paperwork, what can we do, to go ahead and make sure that we can show them we've taken care of everything. A lot of times that's resulted in us driving back to the office or getting online, logging in, and trying to find the information to send to a coordinator, or physically getting on the phone with a promoter to show them the date, the time that we've sent everything. What we wanted to do is we wanted to try to help that out a little bit, where we've gone ahead and we've added a promoter confirmation. So when we hear back from the promoter that they've gone ahead and they've said, yes, we've got your contract, we've got your payment, you're all set, we're going to note that in the event. And when we do that, you'll see a green check mark that will show. That means that the promoter has gotten back to us and everything is good to go. When you're looking on your dashboard for events that are starting this upcoming week or are booked for next week and you don't see a check mark, I would make that to be a warning to you guys that you don't want to take that chance. I would follow back up with the promoter as well, and I would reach back out to them and just say, hey, Cutco submitted information. I've got a booking request that everything was sent on such and such date. Can you verify, that you have everything? And the promoter will let you know that you're good to go. Or if not, then you'll contact us in advance of the setup date for the event, and we can resubmit everything if need be. So this area here, if I'm Pat and I'm looking at this and I see events that are starting this weekend and this is blank, I'm working with my team or my assistant and I'm saying, guys, we need to contact the promoter of the Georgetown Market Days because we're supposed to set up in a couple of days, and Cutco Events is not showing that the promoter has responded that they have all the information. So I would click on Georgetown Market Days, I would scroll over and I would there's the promoter phone number, there's their email address, there's their website. I would do whatever we need to do. There's the contact information to get in touch with Lori or Stephanie and let them know that, hey, we're going to set up on the 10th. I just wanted to make sure that you have all of the information. So we're doing this as a little bit of a safeguard for you guys. We're doing our work on the back end as we've always done, but we're going to let you know if we have not heard from the promoter, and that's a time to take action as well. The last thing I want to mention on this is called the Variance Report, and this is going to be a button that's going to be located right here in your quantums. Now, the Variance Report is something that's going to be very important these next couple of months as we transition from reported event results into the actual tabbed orders that will be used in 2018. If you were at the net, you heard me talk about how we're making this transition, that 2017 is a base year where we're still taking your reported information, but we're also making the changes internally to now just use the tabbed orders moving forward for the result information. So what we want to do is we wanted to help you by showing you the variance in what has been reported versus what actually tabbed. So this way it can help you as a coordinator, as an assistant, when you're having your team meetings to say, guys, what's going on here? Why did we over-report this? Or why did we under-report this? Why did we actually have more orders tabbed than what we actually thought we reported? And work together to try to tighten that up. Compensation could be based on this. Competition could be based on this. If we do a silver cup, it's going to be based upon the actual tabbed information. All the more reason to make sure that for you as a coordinator, you as an assistant, you as a team member that is listening to this, that you guys are doing everything you can to make sure that you're just not mailing it in as it relates to entering your orders. Don't get lazy. Don't just click reg. Make sure that you're entering it in as an event order tied to the specific event, because it's going to show here and it's going to count in that way for you guys moving forward. I will make clear that we have not added any additional steps, any additional clicks to entering an event order versus a regular order. All we have simply done is we've renamed the fields to go ahead and identify it on the back end correctly. So I have not added any more steps or clicks for you to get the information in correctly tied to an event order. We've just renamed it. Just do yourself a favor, save yourself the frustration and the time, and start to be aware of this now. One way to help to be aware of it is this variance report. When you click on this, what it will do is it will run a year-to-date breakdown and export it for you in Excel. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on this. All right. And what it does, it outputs a report to you in Excel that shows you all of the events that you have done year to date and what was reported and what actually tabbed and what is the difference. Now again, these are not accurate numbers. These are not real numbers here. But again, for the purpose of the testing, if this was real and I'm Patton and I'm Dante and I'm working in a team meeting and I would say, hey guys, we reported $2,000. We actually only tabbed 1318. There was a difference of 682. What happened? And I would look at the orders and say, okay, well, this is a regular order that should have been tabbed or should have been processed as an event order. There's the mistake right there. And if it's an individual rep that's doing it, I would sit with them on the team to try to narrow that gap. Inversely, the pickers patch market. You only reported $200, but actually $435 was tabbed, leaving a difference of $235 that actually tabbed compared to what was reported. These are things that we would want to address before we go to only tabbed orders in 2018. And as you scroll down here at the bottom, you can see that we total everything up for you. The number of events that have been completed year to date, what you've reported, what you've tabbed, and the variance or the difference between the two. So right now in this example, if this was real information, there would be a difference of $154,000 that from reported versus tabbed, that if this was real, if Patton was being compensated from his region or his division, or if we were doing competition based upon tabbed information, there's a difference of $154,000 here that we would need to go back and really need to try to tighten up and figure out where this is. Is it a processing issue? Is it an entry issue? Is it just a team member not necessarily following the directions correctly as it relates to entry? What we want to do is we want to be on this and take advantage of this right now, because come 2018, we aren't going back. It's going to be based upon tabbed order entry for everything in our event program moving forward. So, you're going to hear a lot about this in the next couple of months as we get closer, but that's just another tool that we've developed to help you guys out with all of that. So guys, that's some information that we've put together for our Event Connect launch, again, taking place on Wednesday, June 14th. You'll start to see throughout the summer some professionally produced videos that will walk you through how to use Event Connect, the dashboard, the new recap entry system, but I still thought it was great to get a couple minutes with you in a live stream here, in a sense, utilizing the screen so you can exactly see what's taking place. I recognize it's a little bit back and forth with the clicking and the ums and all of that. So we're going to do a better professionally produced job for you guys this summer. But in the meantime, I still thought it was important for you guys to actually see it before you start using it next week. As always, if you have any questions, just give us a call. The Cutco event number. My email is dbush@cutco.com. Looking forward to working with you guys and can't wait to show you guys what's next in a future update as well. Thanks, guys. Bye.